Good evening, everyone. This is Arkansas Weather Watchers, Senior Forecaster Cameron back here again, and I am here to provide a update regarding the potential heavy rainfall as we get towards the mid and late part of this upcoming week, and also talk about possibly some severe weather. And I'm also going to give you guys a tropical update here. As I said before, kind of ironic, I'm giving you guys a tropical update. It's the very first day of the hurricane season here in the natural state here. So, I just really hope that this is not foreshadowing what we'll be dealing with later on in the season here. But as I said before, we have Invest 91L sitting at around 22 miles per hour, central pressure 1007, moving west at around 11 miles per hour. Not really all that strong at this current time. You can really tell with the wind bars here that it's kind of fighting shear here. And you know, as expected, it's early. It's still early June. The shear is going to be still pretty high across this area in here. So although it is struggling right now, the National Hurricane Center has placed a 60% chance of development over the next 5 days regarding the system here, as it could potentially make a run for either being a tropical depression or also a tropical storm. And if it were to become a tropical storm, it will be our second named tropical storm. It will be Barry, as we've already had Andrea back in May out in the Atlantic here. So this is what we got going on here. Now, how is Invest 91L going to impact us here in the natural state here? Now, what you got going on, guys, here is the forecast charts here. And some of the computer model guys are want to take this into Mexico, and I do realize this is kind of hard to see, but I do apologize for that. But some of the computer model guys want to take this into Mexico, want to take it out into the Pacific here, and the majority is wanting to take this into Mexico, into Texas here, and then push it towards Louisiana, Mississippi, and possibly into Arkansas here. Now, this would be very bad news, as Arkansas is dealing with a lot of ongoing flooding at this current time here. And although this thing would likely be at a very weakened state on the verge of death, the moisture remained from this system would bring a lot of rainfall to areas that have already seen a significant amount of rainfall, and on top of that, also dealing with river flooding regarding the Arkansas River. So this would be very bad from whatever happens with Invest 91L pushing into Texas, Louisiana, and into Arkansas here. This is the area that does not need any more rainfall as of now here, guys. So I do have some unfortunate news that we will have some rainfall coming as we get towards the mid and late part of next week here, and possibly some severe weather with this as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But like I said before, I wanted to start off with the tropics here because, as I said before, ironically, we have Invest 91L in the Gulf, and it's the first day of the hurricane season here, guys. So 60% chance. We will have updates on our tropical segment on our website here regarding what happens with this system here over the next couple of days, guys. So as I said before, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some model guidance here. Now, the European model here, and this is kind of, I want to say almost a best case scenario and almost a worst case scenario here. Okay, here's what the European model wants to do. Okay, wants to really develop this thing out. The European model will verify you would have Tropical Storm Barry out here, and this is kind of somewhat of a worst case scenario here, is because it would stay semi over the open waters here, but the other side of the circulation would be into Mexico here. So I kind of doubt that this thing would get to this level of strength. I think this will remain probably a weakened tropical depression, maybe a weak tropical storm, but I don't think it would get this strong with it being that close to land here. So we'll have to watch with the European model here. But like I said, here's the European model, and really takes this thing out, really develops it into a tropical storm. And the one thing that really concerns me here, okay, and I'm gonna stop this right here, and I'm gonna go back to our view. Okay, you have a tropical storm in the Northwest Gulf. Okay, you have a cold front that's coming down. I'm gonna show you guys this real fast here. So here's your wind bars. There's your tropical storm down here. This would be quote unquote Tropical Storm Barry. there's your low pressure right here. There's a cold front, a Pacific cold front, that is draped across Texas here. So not only would you have to deal with the potential of heavy rainfall with the tropical moisture streaming in, but you will also have to deal with the potential of possibly some severe weather as we get towards later in the Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening here, guys. So if this were to verify, we would have to deal with that. And it does make a landfall in Louisiana, pushes it up into Mississippi here. We'll have to watch out across the southeast, as it could potentially have some tornadoes with it. You deal with tornadoes every time you deal with a tropical system, as we all know. And this would push out, this would push out into west of our area, as we get towards Friday night and early Saturday morning here, with winds coming out of the northwest and streaming in here, guys. But the damage would be done because you would have a significant amount of rainfall over our area here, and this is within 7 days. So if the European model were to verify, you would have a good 3 to 5 inches of rain in an area that does not need these kind of totals, because that is right along the Arkansas River right there. So this is a very, very bad area to get 3 to 4 inches of rain here, guys. So this is the European model solution, by the way. I'm going to show you guys the GFS in just a little bit here. And I'm also going to talk to you guys about a little bit more about why we've been seeing so much heavy rainfall over this last couple of weeks here. So as I said before, the European model is kind of a worst case scenario here by bringing that tropical system in. But you would also deal with the potential of severe weather along with that tropical system here. And one more thing the European model would like to do, and this kind of worries me here, it stalls out that system. Okay, it stalls it out over just east of our area here, and that would continuously send rain showers over the northern and central half of the state. And if that were to take place, especially with all that moisture in the atmosphere, you would have to deal with the potential of more heavy rainfall here. So here's the Euro 10 days out. Okay, you thought 7 days was bad. Here's 10 days out, almost a half a foot of rainfall across northern Arkansas here, with the potential of a double combo of the tropical system and our net storm system coming out of the west. So we would look at significant amounts of heavy rainfall across north and central Arkansas, and that is very, very bad news, especially for our viewers that are living along the Arkansas River here, guys. So we do not need the European model to play out, because the European model plays out, it's going to be some bad news as we get towards late this coming week into your weekend and into the early part of the following next week here, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys out to the GFS here. Now the GFS here, and this is what the GFS does with this quote unquote tropical system here, or Invest 91L, keeps it relatively weak on some per se. It's not like the European model that wants to really beef this thing out. The GFS is, and like I said before, the GFS is kind of our friend here. Completely erases the system. I mean, and this is also a very, very high possibility, because, like I said before, it's early June. The shear is going to be really, really high across the western Gulf of Mexico here. So that kind of does not support a high-grade tropical storm or even a hurricane out of that. But the moisture from this, and I'll go ahead and show you guys here with the PWatt values here. So let's see, there it is right there. So there's the moisture stream here, and I'm going to draw this out for you guys so you guys can see a better picture of what's going on here. So there's your system in here, down here. There's your area of low pressure. So it's going to be centered probably right in there. And with that being said, you're having that moisture really streaming into the natural state here. So as I said before, regardless of what happens with this system here, regardless if it develops into Barry, if it develops into a tropical storm, a tropical depression, if it stays an open wave, regardless of what happens, the moisture from this system is going to come into the natural state here. So we can't avoid that, simply because you're going to have a ridge out here. All right, you're going to mind my drawing here. So there's a ridge out there, and you also have your southeast ridge that's just been parked across our area here. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys, there's a drought going on over here in the southeast, given how long that ridge has been sitting in place. And you got to remember, Mississippi, Alabama, even Georgia, early on in the spring, they were dealing with flooding left and right. Now they're dealing with a drought because that ridge has really just been parked over that area. So that just tells you that this southeast ridge is not playing any kind of games this early summer here, guys. So, but that southeast ridge, with it being parked right there, and with that troughing out west, you've really been having these systems come over our area here, bringing not only severe weather, but also more and more and more heavy rainfall, which has resulted in that catastrophic flooding we're currently dealing with here along the Arkansas River here, guys. So, as I said before, we just either need this pattern to break out here in the west to get a ridge really start to develop out west, or we need this southeast ridge to really start to scoot a little bit more to the west. Because if we stay in this pattern for any longer, we're going to have some significant problems take that back. We're already dealing with significant problems. We're going to have more problems on our hands if this pattern were to continue into June and early July here, guys. So as I said before, whatever happens with Invest 91L, the moisture stream from that system will impact the natural state no matter what happens with the system here. So let's just hope that we don't have a developed system headed our way. I would rather for this thing to be very, very weakened if it even approaches our area here. But the GFS is somewhat our friend. It kind of keeps it at bay here, but with all that moisture streaming in, it's not going to do as much good here. And as I said before, with that instability really starting to play in, you will have to watch out for severe weather across Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, the same areas that have just been hit have just been hit over and over and over and over and over again with severe weather over the last couple of weeks. There's several tornado outbreaks over here in Oklahoma and in Texas, Kansas, Missouri. They have been hit very, very hard. And for us here downstream, not only we've been somewhat spared with the overall tornado outbreak deal, but we have been dealing with the catastrophic flooding along the Arkansas River here, guys. So as I said before, just pray for everyone that's affected right now. But this is the GFS here, and there's the low pressure. No matter what happens with that system, the moisture stream is going to impact our area here as we get towards Thursday and Friday here. And it gets this system out of here, but it's just very, very slow with it. And to make the situation even worse here, it gets that system out of here, but it's very, very slow here. So you would have to keep precipitation chances in over the next couple of days here. And then as we get towards Tuesday into your following week here, we hopefully will start to get into a break here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys total precipitation regarding the GFS. And the GFS compared to the European model, you still look at a total of 3 to 5 inches of rain over the next 10 days here, which is bad news regarding what's going on right now. But I would rather take this than this. I would rather have, if I'm gonna have heavy rainfall, I'm gonna take the GFS solution versus the Euro, because the Euros wouldn't have put 7 inches of rain on top of our heads in the next 10 days, where the GFS is a little loose with it, about the 2 to 4 inch rain. So regardless, we are going to be dealing with heavy rainfall. The model guidance is in perfect agreement about heavy rainfall, but the GFS it's a little less aggressive with the heavy rainfall than the European model here, guys. So what's been going on while we've been dealing with all this heavy rainfall? Well, part of it is the P&A, and I've talked about this a lot in the winter. With the P&A being in its negative phase, it kind of shows troughing out west. And with that being said, you have troughing out west. It sends those systems into Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Kansas, puts us on that warm sector. And not only do we deal with severe weather, but we also deal with heavy rainfall. And with that southeast ridge really parked just to the east of us, it's just been continuously sending that Gulf of Mexico moisture here, guys. So as I said before, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning into this blog video tonight. Thank you guys for trusting us with your Arkansas weather, and we will catch you guys later, and I will have another. Next time around, I'm probably going to do a live stream regarding this. I'm just wanting to see what happens with the system as we get towards the next couple of days, there, guys. So y'all take care, and y'all have a great rest of your Saturday night.